All right. Thank you so much for to be here in Just Be Blessed. My name is Alex Castillejos here in Just Be Blessed, where we share people's testimonies and sharing uplifting messages and how God is good. And I hope your day is doing well. And today I'm so excited because we're gonna be talking about something that I'm very passionate about. It's film. And brother Justin Wilson, he accepted to be here and Just Be Blessed, and we're gonna be talking more about, a little to know more about him, and also about the passion that he has about filming, and also that he has a interesting YouTube channel, and we're gonna be talking about more about it. And I'm excited to hang out with him. And seriously, thank you so much for your support here in Just Be Blessed. Trying to have every week somebody has a testimony or a message to share. And thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And I don't want to waste my more time. And let's hang out here with brother Justin. How you doing, brother? Justin, welcome to Just Be Blessed.
What's up?
Good. Checking out, knowing you and follow you in Facebook. You have doing a lot of things with film and where you've been working and everything, but I just want to find out how was growing up, how was home. Do you grow up in a Christian home or?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, as a Seventh-day Adventist, but I really, it really became personal to me when I read this book called The National Sunday Law. I came late to church one day and decided not to go into the church, but went upstairs into the kitchen and found the National Sunday Law just laying there. So decided to pick it up because I've heard of what they were talking about in certain serious prophetic seminars, and I hear them talk about Sunday law and how serious it was. So I decided to read it and understand what they were talking about. And yeah, I was blown away. Like, I asked someone if this book belonged to someone. They couldn't find the person, so I just decided to take it home. I felt a little guilty because I thought I stole the book, but as I was reading it night by night, there was just this eerie feeling that somebody was watching me as I was reading it, and that was the first time I could sense that I was right in the center of God's will. Like, I was right where God wanted me to be, and I knew, like, by the time I came to the end of the book, I had to get the book that it was telling me to read, which was the Great Controversy book. And yeah, I asked the pastor about the book, and he gave me his copy. Started to read through that for about 2-3 months, and yeah, I felt like I couldn't turn back, that I went in too deep. I knew too much about the will of God. And as I was reading it, I could tell that whoever wrote this book was inspired. They actually knew God. And then at the same time, I thought, wow, this book is so relevant. This person must have wrote this book like 2 years ago or something. But no, it took me like several months later to find out that the person who wrote the book was a female, a lady named Ellen White. And I'm like, a woman writes like that?
Yeah.
Now that sounds a little sexist, but that's just my thinking. I'm not so used to reading or hearing about female theologians. So that came as a surprise to me. Mm-hmm. And then this person told me that, this person died 100 years ago. I was like, 100 years ago? Why does it feel like the book is so relevant today? Like, it felt like the information was something that they knew about that just happened. So, from there, I'm like, this person has to be more than just a theologian.
Some people out there that watch and listen, they don't know anything about the Great Controversy book. Can you tell us, a little bit? I mean, I know it's a huge book and stuff like that, that a person that don't know, what is the first chapter, what it's about, or something like that. Can you share that with us a little bit?
Okay. Well, the Great Controversy starts off the destruction of Jerusalem, like right after, the Christian church decided to leave Jerusalem in the fulfillment of what Christ told them, that not one stone would be left upon another, as far as like the temple and also the city of Jerusalem. And that's when all the Christians were supposed to leave. So anyway, she starts off, the author starts off with talking about the destruction that happens there, which is to represent the destruction that's going to eventually happen in the world, and then continue on throughout history, from basically the persecution, and then eventually how the Christian church became not just the persecuted, but then they turned the tables in politics as far as like becoming a power in Rome. Like Constantine and other emperors started giving their authority over to the Christian church, the universal church, which eventually we know to be the Catholic Church. And she follows the history of truth, or the Bible, or God's word, making its way all the way throughout the end of time. But more specifically, the book follows like this cosmic war between Christ and Satan. And one thing that book really, really touched me with, as far as enlightened me, it talked about in detail the fall of Lucifer, as though the person who was writing it was there. And, you know, as I was reading it, it seemed pretty clear to me that this was a vision. This was a revelation from God. And she talks about also what's going to happen in the last days, and eventually to the end of time, when after Jesus comes, and then he makes his final judgment and causes sin and sinners to be no more. And yeah, that book is just beautiful, well written. I'm doing an injustice, or I'm not doing justice to that book in explaining it, but it really touched my heart actually reading it. Now, I didn't think I would ever be touched by a history book, but it was very beautiful, well written.
Wow. So it seems like you were maybe like in your teens years when you were reading that book.
I was 16 years old at the time reading it. Yeah, I was 16, going on 17 a little bit, but yeah.
So when you get that book, it's like, wow. I mean, like you want to keep more reading and to know more about Jesus.
Yeah, and crazy thing about it is that as I was reading it, there'd be times where I'm just crying. I'm just like, wow, this is deep. This is amazing. I can't believe God would actually look down on me and give me this book. Like, there's billions of people who don't know what I know right now. Like, I am so extremely privileged. And another thing is that, like, I was surprised that I could understand the book, because, my world at that time was just TV and video games. If I want to experience anything, just watch TV, play video games, or just go to the park, and that's it. I don't consider myself a good reader. I definitely wasn't a good reader at the time, but for some reason that book was just like going in, it was like ice cream. It was easy to go down. So I was very inspired, and actually made me realize, like, I'm not a dumb person. I can actually read. I just have to be very interested in what I'm reading. And yeah,
that helped you Christian walk, your relationship with God.
Yeah, it really helped my relationship with God. It really, like, my world is grounded in that reality. Like, I can't unsee God anymore. Before I read that, I thought, you know what, I can make up my own religion. I can think of any, better idea of how to, understand the Bible. But once I started reading that book and started learning other stuff, in relation to the great controversy and prophecy, I really can't imagine myself being anything else except a Seventh-day Adventist. I mean, if I wasn't a Seventh-day Adventist, I probably wouldn't be Christian at this point, really. I don't think I would have a relationship with Christ like that, because it makes so much sense. And not only that, it makes God look so much, he just looks so cool to me now. He's not just a lovey-dovey God, or he's not just a wrathful God. He's a God of reason. He's a God of power. He's a God of love. He's a fun God. Like that's what came out to me when I was reading it, and because she writes so eloquently and simple, the visions that were in her pages was just it was playing so clearly in my head like a cinema. So I always wanted to express what I saw in my head, in my imagination, more clearly. So I began to, of course, give out books and started to give out tracts. Eventually, I started like doing street preaching on the trains all the time, and that was very fun. Yeah, I started street preaching a lot, like in the trains, to the point where it'd be 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still street preaching. I'll preach on the boat. I'll preach everywhere. I just couldn't resist the fact that there are there are people who may be just like me and was waiting to hear what I know right now. So I just hope that there's people out there like me and would appreciate the truth that I have.
So it's kind of like that passion that you were reading, the Bible you were reading, the great controversy, and it's like, man, I wish I can share this to other people. And the question I have is, I mean, when do you decide, like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up a camera and or I'm gonna because you mentioned something like what you were reading. It's like I want to put in my vision, you know. It's like kind of like I don't know. I watched a few videos on your YouTube channel, and one of them it was talk about when you know film, and also is when it's kind of like you vision about the second coming.
Oh yeah.
And I was watching it, and I was like, as a cinematographer, to have that, to make a movie about it or just to think about it. I mean, it's kind of like my hair on my body is going up. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
how cool is that? There's somebody take the time and think about in details or something just to the second coming. And I just want to hear you.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out which video you're talking about, but either way,
Yeah.
yeah. If you talk to me about the second coming, I just cannot resist to smile.
You smile.
And
Look at that.
I just because the vision is so it's ecstasy. I just cannot wait to actually show you what I see in my head, or I just can't wait for it to happen. Period.
Of course.
Because yeah, where do I start? Now you asked me about when did I start picking up the desire to start filming.
That's right.
Well, in my young days, you know, my older sister, excuse me, we used to play with a camera all the time, and eventually when I became a teenager, we used to, me and my friends, we used to try to do the show called Jack Butt. I don't want to say the A word, but there was this show on MTV back in the day, like in the early 2000s, where these guys would just do stunts out in the street and anywhere and just act silly, do pranks and so on. So we would do that. Eventually, when I started to give my life to Christ, I stopped doing that, and I put my camera away, and I just started, you know, giving out tracts instead.
Yeah.
Eventually, when I went to college, to Southern Adventist University, and, you know, I started preaching, I would have, of course, you know, PowerPoints, and I wanted to make my PowerPoints more lively. So at the end of my sermons, I thought, okay, well, let me make a video, and then I would like use some videos, of course, type messages and show like maybe time lapse of the clouds moving and put music to it, and it got very dramatic. And I thought, wow, this is powerful. I mean, there were some good like video appeals at the end, to the point where, you know, people would cry. Now, when you would look at it today, it doesn't match up to the common YouTuber today. But back, in 2005, 2006, it was top notch, in my opinion. So I thought, man, I want to do so much. So I started picking up the camera again, and at Southern, yeah, I was that weird guy who was always with a book bag with his camera and just videotaping random stuff, just videotaping, clouds in the time lapse, or go out in nature, record bugs and stuff, and I would find ways to use it. And eventually I started using it for ministries with my friend. There was like there's something called the patent. What was it? The Patent Project, where we pretty much promoted this community service event to help like the homeless in downtown Chattanooga. So I made this video, very professional. I used I guess the good cameras that the school had, even though I wasn't a film major. That was a sin that I needed I needed forgiveness for. And I also would use their editing equipment, software, even though I wasn't a film major. But it was pretty natural for me because I was so used to just using Windows Movie Maker, which was just a prison.
those times.
Yeah, it was very humbling, but it taught me how to edit in the basic form. So yeah, my skills got better and better until people started asking me to do their projects, and eventually they paid me to do projects. But when it comes to the subject of filming and the Second Coming, I started having an extreme passion for Jesus' Second Coming by this one night where I came home. I was coming from school during a break, and I was feeling very guilty about not witnessing because I was on the plane and I didn't witness. I didn't tell the person about Jesus who was sitting next to me, and I was also having some issues with my family, and I felt like, oh man, I'm a bad example, of a Christian. So, that night I just went to sleep, didn't pray, and I was feeling bad for not praying. So next thing you know, I had a dream that Jesus was in my room, and he got up from the bed and he walked into this other room of my house. And I was so excited. I'm like, oh man, Jesus is in my house, Jesus. And I was so excited. I called my mom. I was like, Mommy, Jesus is here. And I was a little like nervous because I realized, wait, I didn't pray. Then I asked my mom. I was like, Mom, can you go talk to him for me and then tell me what he says? So she went in the room and she came back and she told me what he said. And I was like, okay, what did he say? Because I'm expecting like this deep philosophical explanation to life. But she said that he said, I'm coming. I'm like, he's coming? He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. And I got so excited because the sense of he's coming was like he's on his way. Like there's no more generations after this. I'm coming. So since then, like I've always been excited about the Second Coming. And just in great detail, like imagine it, see, the cosmic angels, like these beings from all corners of the universe, just streaming down from the sky. And I mean, yeah, just feeling the vibration of the sky, the electromagnetic field causing like a disarray of nature, just coming out of place. I mean, seeing the alien forms of giant creatures just hitting the ground like missiles, and then seeing all these huge like alien ships, from all these planets. Because a lot of times when people think of heaven, they think so they think so primitive. They think of them as
Boring.
like angels, white angels with wings, like feather wings. Like that's all they have. Like God doesn't have any personality when He
Good
creates.
point, man. Yes.
Like you can see by how God creates the world, He creates things with variety. He makes different kinds of fish with different colors and different abilities. I mean, they don't all swim the same way with the same kinds of fins. So just imagine the angels. They're going to look extremely alien to how we imagine them. Some of them may look more humanoid, while others are just going to look extremely like beastly. You know, like um, let's say like a spider with like 1,000 arms, and some arms are cross dimensions. I mean, there's so many things I see.
Yeah, it's not in the book of I believe it's in
Ezekiel in the Revelation.
yeah Ezekiel. Yeah, I think yeah Ezekiel. You said uh, faces of eagles and
Yeah, and I like to look at. Some people like to claim that's just symbolic, but either way,
either way he
that
saw something, right?
yeah, he saw something. And what my favorite part about that is that he saw that there was eyes all over their bodies, which
That is crazy thought, but I mean,
yeah, it's a crazy thought. Often we forget about spiders that have like 8 eyes or like
that's,
10, 12 eyes sometimes, and they still look beautiful.
yeah,
We just can't imagine. We forget to imagine things that look beautiful with several eyes on top of it.
yeah,
But I think those eyes represents the fact that when they're so close to God, there's so many things going on. I mean, there's just zillions of things that's just flying around them. So you need eyes from all like in all different angles that has different abilities to see all that, to not only see it but appreciate it. So like having two eyes is just it is so restrictive. Like just two. Like I wish I had like 1,000 to see all the things that God has.
either what what is our talent, you know, like what is our creator is made. I mean, I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah. So they have an extreme camera eye that's just beyond what we can imagine. Like they not only see 3D, but they could see 4D and all these other dimensions of how to see the world. They can see ultraviolet colors, and I mean, it's mind-boggling. So I want to kind of give people the taste of that, the reality of this world, because it's not fear that the world, they get to dream up about like anything they want. They could talk about, they can have this Marvel sci-fi world that seems closer to heaven than how Christians think of it. But because it's not Christian, oh, they're free to do that. But Christians, we stick within this box where heaven or anything that's godly has to be bland and colorless.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you guys, brother Justin here. I mean, he's so honest, and I just watched a video about his YouTube channel, and he was saying about the second coming. I just come out with a question, and he has a smile in his face. I mean, the passion about the second coming, and seriously, uh, uh, me too. I mean, I cannot wait, right? I mean, the awesome topic. I mean, Bible study about it. But let me show you guys. In the background, his YouTube channel that he does, whatever. In the background, he has the beautiful, I believe, is an open. I don't know if it's called the eye or I don't know, the eye of God. I think.
The helix, yeah, they call it the eye of God, but the helix nebula, yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful in the back. And when you were talking about the second coming, I mean, I can just imagine the universe just open, open the sky or open the universe and the second coming, right? Jesus. Well, what a beautiful picture you have in the background, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This is one of my favorite
Yeah.
pictures. It's the Hart Russell uh, nebula. Yeah, very beautiful.
It's beautiful. So, you went to school for film, or you just like, hey, I like that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna just um, pick the camera.
No, I just studied theology at Southern Adventist University. I didn't do film major. I didn't study in film, but it's just it was second nature to me. So yeah, I just picked it up, self-taught.
Wow, I mean
I,
that's great.
I still need to learn a lot more, of course. But yeah, I'm more so into cinematography,
Hmm.
which is just knowing how to frame um, the story by the camera or in a creative fashion.
Like a documentary style, something like that.
It could be documentary style. I do a lot of documentaries because I don't often, um, have like a team with me. But yeah, it's just often it's run and gun when I'm filming, let's say, a story.
Okay. Yeah, because I see some pictures of you, with a big camera and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I know what he's doing. Me, it's just a small camera. Yeah, that's great. So, what do you think about the importance of filming in the church, in the Christian church?
Well, I mean, it's very important because you know, um, the gospel has to get out to the world, and there's a verse in I believe Habakkuk where God, he tells him to write it down and make it plain. In other words, make it very clear. And I think film makes a message, anything that you have in your head, a vision. It makes it very plain in so many different ways. You can have music that can carry the idea, and video, and subtitles if needed, and just the flow of the story can carry the message as clear as possible. A lot of times you don't see what a person is saying when they're talking, but when you see it literally in video and then you also hear it, some things just click. It's like, ah. So then just imagine that with the gospel. The gospel in video. Like a lot of times when you think of the Bible or you read a Bible story, some people they think about the movie that they saw that was covering that story. So yeah, sometimes film is an amazing medium to stay in your mind about what you were reading in the Bible.
Yeah, I hear some researchers were saying the percentage of captivating the information when as a pastor you do a seminar stuff like that. If you don't have a video, I mean, it just the person who's getting the information is just captivating maybe like 35% of to retain the information. But if you add video, filming we're talking about, I mean, that is like 89%. I mean, like,
Mhm.
so more powerful, more percentage. And yeah, I mean, nowadays the technology is, beautiful pictures, nice cameras. I mean, can you to bring Bible topic or something positive, uh, it would help. It helps a lot, just to captivate information. So what project have you been working or you've been worked before?
I've been doing something called the, I guess, God's Love Letter. That's one project I'm pretty proud of, which is basically just me catching video that would describe God's love for us. And then also, as of now, I am just writing, trying to get these stories like this children's book together called the Sheep Chronicles. It's not in film yet, but just the children's story form. Um, Something that it's an allegory to teach kids about Bible history, Bible prophecy, and Bible lessons through the form of like talking about animals and um, I guess traditional stories that they're familiar with.
Hmm.
So kids they love it a lot.
A coloring book?
No, a children's book.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
interesting. That's pretty neat.
I mean, I guess we can make a children's book too. But I mean, assuming a coloring book too. But yeah,
Well, that's another idea, right?
yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Well, let me tell you guys. thank you so much for being here with us right now, and just be blessed. We're here talking with brother Justin Wilson and the passion that he has about filming and the passion that he has about second coming. I mean, that's great. But I just want to show you guys our YouTube channel. Go check it out. We have different uh, video testimonies and also interviews that we do here in live show here on Facebook. It's gonna be uploaded here on YouTube, and just be blessed. But brother Justin also has a YouTube channel, and I just want to talk about his YouTube channel. And can you please tell us what's the name?
My YouTube channel is called Adventist Hermes Justin Wilson, and pretty much that's my brand, Adventist Hermes,
Okay.
because it represents my philosophy and I guess my mission in life. But here on my YouTube channel, it turned into a more political channel, or it's more of a political channel from a politically conservative perspective. And I started giving my voice on the subject about race like a year ago, because I felt like a lot of people have been using the term racism just to shut arguments down. And I, as a person that loves to look into matters and think things through and discuss, I don't like it when people shut down arguments. It's a coward. Yeah, it's a cowardice move to just shut things down. Just say, oh, he's racist. Or, it always bugged me when people were very hypocritical in the term racism, because they would only place it on white people and, shut them down from discussing anything that's real. But at the same time, they were being racist with the term racist because they look at a person's skin color and assume they're racist. So I just thought, let me just give my voice, my opinion on this. And eventually people started subscribing to my YouTube channel. And I was just using my phone for the most part. I was just recording from my phone. I wasn't trying to do anything fancy. And from there, I started getting more involved with politics. And
It is interesting to me is, I mean, you have 46,000 subscribers, and I mean, talk about news and different topics and things like that. And let me tell you guys, I mean, if you guys interested, I mean, of course, I mean, if you guys interested in politics and news and stuff like that, if you wanna come to check it out with brother Justin YouTube channel here in Adventist Hermes, and I think you can have a great time and support his channel too. Why not? Right?
yeah, come subscribe.
Yeah, totally. Subscribe and great topics. I mean, I was checking it out. Great topics and yeah, very interesting. And let me tell you, I mean, brother Justin, I mean, he's there and talking and you know sharing his opinion.
I mean, there's some opinions that I feel like could get me in trouble, but I feel like it's not said enough. Like there's not a lot of, I guess, me out there, should I say? I'd be okay if there was, a lot of people who was sharing my opinion, but there's not too many black conservatives who are willing to speak out there, or black Adventist conservatives who are willing to speak on the subject of politics. And everyone just sounds the same. And because also I have this, I have the great controversy in view. I could see how things can shape up into what we foresee as a national Sunday law. I think my voice is very important. Just ending every argument with, oh, well, that guy's racist, that's why it's happening. It's not going to work. You're not going to see everything through the lens of white versus black all the time. So I just thought I'd just give my opinion on things and give a different perspective.
So I have a question for you. I always ask this question the people I invite, and one of the question is, what is the favorite verse in the Bible do you have? That verse in the Bible that you were like, hey, you know what? I really I trust this verse. You know, maybe you have too many or a few, but at least one of your favorite ones and why.
It's Ezekiel 33 verse 11 where he tells Ezekiel to tell the wicked, turn ye from your wicked ways, for why will you die? And then he says he has no pleasure in the death of the wicked. That really touched me because I could just see God like, please tell them I don't want them to die. And that's a good question even for ourselves, because there's sometimes we we want to commit suicide at times. We want to die, and God, he doesn't want us to die. He doesn't want us, and it may appear that way at some points, where there are people who are like, they're very deserving of death. I mean, I could applaud at certain people's death, but the point where they really die is when they do wicked things, that leads them to no return. And it takes me back to the story of the great controversy, where there was a point where Lucifer could have turned back. He could have repented. And in the great controversy, Ellen White writes about how there was this moment of decision where he was going to decide to turn back. He was almost going to do it, but pride came in, and he decided to continue to rebel. And at that point, it was too late. So yeah, she talks about how Christ, in tears, like he really did not want him to take that path. And that moment when he became Satan, that's when Lucifer died. That was the end. And I could just feel the pain of watching someone go down a path that leads to death. Once they go down that path, they already died, technically. So yeah, when I saw God, at least envision, or at least imagining it, reading that verse, I was like, wow, this verse right here is, yeah, it will stick with me whenever I think about like just giving up. Like, he doesn't want me to die. He doesn't want me to take this wrong path. So yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's very, very personal, God. Like, I really care about you. I love you. And I don't. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your favorite verse here, and just be blessed. But also, I want to ask you, kind of like uh, can you please motivate somebody up there, to share, maybe up there, maybe somebody's like, yeah, you know what, I really want to share the gospel, but I don't know. Can you please motivate somebody, what people are watching right now?
Well, I would say that um, you can worry about trying to save the world, but remember that there's someone just like you that would listen to you. If you save that one person, that's enough, really. But at the end of the day, there's many people out there who would hear the gospel just because it's you, that said it. So just preach, because you are a messenger. You are a Hermes for specific kinds of people. And it would bother me that I couldn't get every single person. That not everyone would listen to me. But at the end of the day, I realized that there were people that would listen to me that other people couldn't reach. So yeah, you may be the key to other people's locked hearts. So yeah, just remember that you're designed in a certain way for certain people.
Wow. Uh, that's powerful. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And once again, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. Can you please go check him out, Brother Justin's YouTube channel? He is right here, and please, please good, please go and subscribe and check it out there. He's really into about politics and news and all stuff. He shares, and he loves to also to share his opinion. Maybe you kind of interesting. Go check him out, and I really appreciate your time here, bro. Justin, share with you, share with us a little more personal things. You know, you share your Bible verse and the desire about filming and the beautiful thing about uh, the second coming. I mean,
Mhm.
I mean that's every time I say second coming, I mean he's light up.
Yeah, yeah. It just I just wish I had more time to talk about it.
Yeah.
uh, I love more than politics. I love talking about theories and heaven,
Mm.
and what it's going to be like when he comes back. And yeah, I could go on for hours and hours and hours.
Well, we don't have too much time, but
I don't have time.
I will be. I mean, seriously, can you please share with us? I mean, I know you've been reading books or the Bible, of course. You know, reading the Bible, and we're living in the end times, right? Everybody say like, "Oh yeah, we're living in the end times." Jesus have Jesus has to come, right? I mean, we don't know what, when, the hour, or anything. But all the stuff that we see around us, I mean, seriously, if you just watch the news this morning or last week, I mean, Australia, Philippines, Puerto Rico, I mean, everywhere, it's like, what's going on?
You want me to respond to that? Because
Yeah. Please, please. I
oh,
want your point of view, and I mean, I know you talk about politics and all stuff, but I want to mix that thing up. I mean, and the second coming, and I mean, Jesus have to come, right? I mean,
yeah, he has to come. And right
share the
now,
gospel, right? I mean, a lot of Christians they're sharing the gospel, but what do you see in the news, and what do you see in the spiritual ground?
well, right now, it seems like there has been like God has been holding back the winds of strife. He's been warning us about some things, like to wake up back in 2012 when there were a lot of fish just dying out of nowhere, birds dropping out of the sky. Some strange things were supposed to wake us up to pay attention. And then another season started, coming around where there was earthquakes that just started happening, like strong ones out of nowhere, and then hurricanes and all kinds of stuff. But they come in seasons, like the Bible talks about like a whirlwind. And the thing about a whirlwind is that they have tails. So, when one wind tail just hits you, it hits you hard, and then there's like a wave of peace, and then it comes back again, and then it comes back again, and it comes back again until it's just more consistent and constant. And so right now we're just at I would say, at like a peaceful moment where we're supposed to look at politics. So, um, what's going on in politics? It's like things are forming up to to shape a religious revival, in the sense of, and as far as politics, Christianity is gaining its strength again because of what's going on in the left or the secular world, um, where people are like, wow, this is too extreme. Like, we're going too far from the opposite direction of Christianity, and it's looking too crazy there. So let's go far back over here to the right and give Christians more political power. And yeah, it's because Trump is such an anomaly. He's making strides for the Christian church, and once that happens, when some say, like, when the rabbit gets the gun, you better run. So yeah, for a long time, Christians have been kind of bullied in the United States, by this resurgence of, I guess, secularism in some sense. But yeah, I think I might be going too deep and into a whole other subject that will
Well, you need to, you guys
turn.
watching right now, I mean, seriously, go check it out, brother Justin Adventist Hermes, and he's there. He's making videos and politics. Gonna be, uh, just watch his channel videos, and he's opinion about it, politics. Thank you so much for sharing, and You were talking about politics in the second coming. And you're like that's my topic. Let's do it. 3 more hours.
I just all I see when I think of politics and the things that's going on, I see signs. Like I'm driving down the highway, I'm like, okay, I'm almost I'm closer to my destination, which is the second coming.
That's great. And one word you use, and you said right now it's time of like home, like kind of like
Peace.
a time to preach. You know what I'm saying? Like right now the time to share the good news. You gotta
Hmm.
share the hope, right? And whatever your life is going on, maybe go crazy because difficult problems at home, problems at work, problems of disease or something like that. Maybe it's time to like to wake up a little bit and make sure you're right with God,
Hmm.
you know,
Exactly.
or stuff like that. Uh,
Yeah.
and the beautiful thing that you share something personal. You had a dream. That dream was that night that you didn't pray.
Yeah, that's crazy. And this is Martin Luther King's birthday, and never didn't connect that. I did have a dream, and his dream was for us to be, holding hands, black, white, and all the colors combined.
Hmm.
But my dream is, the second coming.
Hmm.
Where we're holding hands with Christ and all the alien forces out there, all the angels and celestials out there, and um, yeah, that's my dream. So can't wait for that day.
Right. That's great. And I mean, I can finish right now, but I'm gonna add this. I'm not, I'm from Mexico. I've been here for 20 years, and a little bit of history in the United States, or people and stuff like that. And I heard, in the American history about, Martin Luther Jr. Right? Uh, I think he was a preacher, and he was in the politics, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, of course.
I mean, it's
He was,
kind of like, kind of like you, right? I mean, you like politics, and you're a preacher.
yeah, yeah. He was an activist. So when you're a preacher and you're an activist, you have to be
Yeah.
a political figure. Um, and yeah, the thing is, the Adventist Church, we want to stay away from politics because we don't want people to not listen to us when we're preaching the gospel, or just get too entangled with different, um, I guess, polar issues that really don't save them. So I understand why some people would rather stay away from politics, but um, at some other points you can't avoid it. You just can't avoid it.
Yeah.
When they start wanting to shut your church down because you don't believe what they believe,
That's a
yeah,
yeah, that's
you're gonna have to do something about that before it happens.
yeah.
Uh,
So, sometimes we don't talk about that thing. I mean, are you gonna be? I guess you're gonna be talking about when it hits you.
that's the problem. We gotta push against it
You guys
before.
need to go check it out, brother Justin YouTube channel. I mean, he really talk about things, and yeah, brother. Thank you so much for being
Mhm.
here, and just be blessed. Thanks so much for sharing uh, your story and the topics is more important about the second coming, about filming also, sharing the gospel and motivating. Thanks so much for being here and just be blessed. Okay, thank you so much for being here and just be blessed. Another testimony and uplifting messages and come to know brother Justin Wilson a little more and personal in his life. And please go check out his YouTube channel if you kind of into about politics, Christian. Uh, and next week, we're going to have another testimony here in Just Be Blessed, where we share people's testimonies and uplifting messages and how God is good. Thanks so much. Have a good night. Bye bye.